Welcome to WiredToHunt's Whitetail How-Tos, where we provide a step-by-step tutorial for one important deer hunting task.
One of the things that drives me nuts about hunting advice, it's really common to hear people say, you should do something to be a better hunter that most people are never going to do. And one of those things is you should set up a tree stand so you can target practice from it. Most bow hunters aren't going to do this. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try to find a way to practice from an elevated position. So there's three things that you have to think about. You might have access to a hill that's pretty steep.
I'll just pick that up.
That's a simple way to shoot at an angle. What do you have access to? As long as you keep it safe with the background, you probably have access to a place where you can take these elevated shots. The second thing you got to think about, doing this enough to build muscle memory so that you can take this to the woods with you. Really train yourself to go on autopilot. You just kind of have to assume that your brain's gonna go out the window when a big buck walks in. This is why we miss giant bucks at 20 yards when we can make that shot all day long in our sleep. And so what you want to do with these elevated shots, think about your form. When that buck walks in, you're not going to be thinking, okay, I got to bend at the waist and that'll keep my form more consistent. And the more you get comfortable with that, the more you go on autopilot when you actually do have to shoot at a buck when it walks in. This is not a time to shoot bullseyes, but to actually use a 3D target. It forces you to think about your aiming point, your point of impact, and the trajectory of your arrow. This is a problem with a lot of new bow hunters. They kind of get it drilled into their head that it's 3, 4, 5 inches behind the shoulder. That changes. The higher up you get, the tighter that window gets. If you were standing flat-footed, the conventional aiming point might be 5, 6, 7 inches off of where you would have to aim from being 20 feet above it. Where does this pin need to be in this very specific shot situation to make the best shot possible? Because that's what you have to do when you're in the tree stand. Find a way to do some elevated practice. Practice with intention so you can start building that muscle memory. And if you can get a hold of a 3D target, do that. That will change the game as far as making this a whole cohesive practice style that really makes you a better shot in the woods.
If you want more whitetail hunting advice, please listen to the Wired to Hunt podcast and the Wired to Hunt Foundation's podcast, and we'll give you everything you needed to hear about deer.